向こうから叫びがバズってるグライミーフランキー歯を見せて笑うGスポットは指先でチャートを切り裂くスマホの光が瞳に火をつけて今夜も始まるよ猿たちの配信準備はいいかって世界に投げてコインの波間を一緒に泳ぐんだアピアピぶち上げるライブジャンプジャンプ月まで届けワンツースリーで勝って打って笑って振り回る夜に未来をつかめアピアピ止まらないバイブス森の天体で夢を回せグレミーフランキーチースポットとクリプトの嵐を今巻き起こせ
Woo. Hey everybody, welcome to the Whatever Show. I am Timmy G Spot. Here at the Whatever Show, we work hard to showcase builders, founders, and artists on Ape Chain and within Web3 and the ecosystem, and showcase what they're building or what their art style is, and any contributions they may have given to the space. First and foremost, I appreciate everybody that's attended the past shows, and thank you for coming to episode 6. I am solo dolo tonight, so bear with me as I rotate speakers and get all this going on. And yeah, when you invest your money into, projects, whether it be NFTs, meme coins, or, any digital art, I think it's good to put a face with a name or a project that you're looking at maybe buying into, or maybe just curious about what's going on inside of their community and little stuff you hear about. So we got 2 people coming up today. I got one in studio right now. I'm going to bring up Mr. Art with the Froglings. Mr. Art, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. How you doing, G-Spot?
I've been a lot worse, bro. I'm blessed. It wouldn't do no good to complain anyway. So we're gonna ride with it. Art, man, I know Grimey's not here. I mentioned to you that, I'm a little bit more laid back, gonna be hanging out and, just kind of flying by the seat of our pants. But one question that he likes to start out with is, would you consider yourself a founder, an artist, or a dev first?
It's crazy. Founder.
All right, and your project is Froglings on Ape Chain. Is that your only project, or have you started other projects before?
So Froglings on Ape Chain is like perfect. That's first project. Then currently we're doing like Swamp Records, which is just like a platform where people could basically bring their NFT to life with videos, songs, and just bring the IP to life, kind of a thing. So yeah, those 2 things for now. I'm thinking about doing other things, but I haven't just set it out there. Just kind of building it in the back end and seeing how that plays out. But yeah, there are other things in the pipeline.
Awesome. And is that your first dip into being a founder IRL? What's your expertise in the walking around world?
Oh, walking around world, yeah. But I I have a trucking company. I have a few rental properties, and I also work as a data analyst at an insurance company down here. So yeah, I have a packed IRL life.
Awesome.
9 to 5 with a couple hustles, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's not my first time being a founder. Like I've always wanted to just like do stuff, wanted to build stuff. It's always just been in me. The 9 to 5 life is cool, but I've been using the opportunity for that I've had because I've been working from home for like years now, for like 9 years now. So I've just been using that opportunity to do other stuff. I think that could bring me freedom, right? Compared to the other the 9 to 5 way of doing stuff, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think we have a similar story in that regard where we're both really, really busy IRL and try to give time to communities and ecosystems that we vibe with and stuff. And I know me and you met on Ape Chain in the beginning days of Ape Chain. When was the mint for Froglings? What day did y'all begin to mint, and how long did it take y'all to mint out on Ape Chain?
Yeah, bro, like you hit the nail on the head right there. Because I mean, being in Web3 is kind of what brings me joy. It's like where I find my escape. Like most people are like, oh, they want like for me, coming online. It's like okay, this is where like I could just relax. But Froglands, we minted in November of 2024. So right after the Ape Chain well, right after ApeChain went live. Obviously, we were not a big project. It was a free mint on NFTs to me, and we just continuously grinded, like kept going, kept doing spaces. We're giving the NFTs for free, giving it free to people that came on spaces, onboarding people to ApeChain and onboarding them with the frog. So we had a bunch of people wearing Froglands, like the Froglands PFP. That was cool. Then I had bought a bored ape, not a bored ape, a mutant ape, um, in December. No, I think it was January, end of January, and I did like a made by apes license. And at that moment, Boris like kind of like wanted to know more about Froglands and the like how we were doing like the Ape Chain Africa movement. And Bored Apes tweeted about us, and that was the day that like Froglands went from like 0. I remember seeing it was like 0.4 all the way to like it just started moving. And I was like, oh yeah, this is like all the hard work paying off, all the time that we've put into this, like just paying off. And started noticing like other founders noticing us and sweeping the collections and trying to help us out. And yeah, that's kind of like how we went. It took uh, it minted quickly. It minted out in a day, but it just didn't catch attention or nothing happened. I think it minted out because people were like just wondering like there were so many NFTs in the market and people were just like minting whatever, like trying to make trying to make a buck or whatever it was, but nobody had tried to understand what was going on and stuff like that. But for us, we just continued grinding, and I mean, it kind of paid off at the end, which we like now. But there's still a lot of work to be done.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome, and I'm glad you had a good experience on Mitten. Did can you tell us a little bit or the show a little bit more about the Ape Chain Africa movement and what that entails? And um, did Froglings get involved in that, or was Froglings the beginning of that?
So basically, it was the same thing, right? Like Ape Chain Africa was a way to represent the African, the African diaspora, African um, people, right? And a way to onboard the new people that are coming into the space. Because um, the one thing that the space always had was that when people were onboarded to the space, they were onboarded into the wrong ways, right? They were told to go look for a job, but you had no experience, right? Like stuff like that. Like, and they weren't onboarding them to understand how the blockchain works. Like, don't click on wrong links. Don't do stuff like that. And for us, we thought 8chain was a good place for them to come in and get onboarded because I mean the chain was everyone supported each other, right? It wasn't everyone knew each other. Everyone was always trying to lift everyone up. It wasn't like it wasn't like a chain where you wouldn't get the attention if you tried to get it, right? So we try to onboard people there, and the whole movement was okay. You join the movement, like come to Ape Chain, bridge over to Ape Chain, and if you bridge like an ape to Ape Chain, we will give you a frogling in return, like to get you onboarded to the chain, and people will rock the froglings, and we just started doing that, and the spaces just started blowing up and blowing up and blowing up and blowing up, and we started getting more and more people in. So that's kind of how both movements kind of started. It wasn't one started before or one started after. It was kind of like done together in sync to kind of like raise a point, right? And it worked. It worked out. It turned out great.
So would you say you're a founder of Froglings and Ape Chain Africa? Is that how that correlation works, or
No,
who's
no, I'll say I'm a founder of Froglands, but
yeah?
ApeChain Africa is like a community
Okay,
effort, and Dakman was leading that effort. Yeah.
awesome. Okay, yeah, got you. Yeah, man, it's been really cool vibing in the Frogling spaces whenever I see them popped up, and it hits right on the time zones, man. So, um, is there anything that you struggled with as far as the creation of the NFT project when it came to art and actual deployment?
No, because deployment was easy at that moment. It was just NFTs to me. And the artist that helped me with the Froglins art has been like, I've known him for a while. He's helped me with like different type of like artwork for my PFP, things like that. And he's been in the space for the longest. And I think everyone knows him too. He released a project on Ape Chain called Dunks. He's kind of like low key. He doesn't he never comes on spaces or anything, but he's always still there in the chats and stuff. So he helped me with like the whole project and everything. Helped me um, with the traits. I gave him the traits I wanted, like things from like my cultural things that I thought were cool, like the Kuji sweater, stuff like that. And he just kind of helped me bring it to life. So I don't think that was hard. Just sitting down thinking about different traits, different cultural references. That was actually fun to me. Different things that I liked, like there's a trait in the Ape Chain in the Froglins collection called Ape Pain, right? And one of my favorite artworks in the space is Max Payne by X Copy. So it was like cool to like turn Max Payne into an ape and have like the lightning going across. It was cool. Like so, like just stuff like that was fun for me.
Awesome, man. I'm gonna bring up Bullies right here, Mr. Cryptobulliez. Welcome to the stream, brother. How are
Oh
you doing
my
tonight?
god!
I'm alive.
Oh my god!
I'm alive. Funny, as I was joining, I ended up getting a call by my business partner, and he was like, "Yo, man, we got this other domain. You think you can set this up? I'm heading to a convention." I was like, "You." So, give me a minute. Let me set that up real quick. I am listening, but my eyes will be on another tab in the interim. Shout out to you guys. How are you guys doing? Hope everything's good. My man Art, I'm listening to you too. Obviously, I was backstage, but I was listening. And thank you, G Spot, for having us, man. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming through, bro. And just I'll tap on you later in the show, and
Appreciate it.
we'll get locked in.
I'm here. You'll see me, but you'll see my eyes like lingering and getting shit done. So give me.
Yeah, and if you have questions, dude, it's open platform. If you hear anything you want to touch on while Art's speaking, we're hanging out and just trying to spread the good word, you know.
Yeah, gotcha.
What up, bullies?
Get shit done, man. Let's go continue. Don't stop an economy. I'll definitely hit you with some questions too. I've always wanted to know about Froglins, man. I think there was a lot of shit going on in the earlier days. Of course, there's other identity is part of the whole project and whatever transpired there. There's a little I had question marks, but I will say you kept killing it despite that whole situation. And I think you're one of the few founders that's like here building and taking full advantage of all the AI tools at your disposal. So I don't know if you're going to cover that, but I will definitely ask those questions in a bit.
Yeah, and Art, if there's anything you want me to pull up for Froglings as far as website, I can screen share and you can walk me through.
Okay.
Do you have anything that you are working on releasing right now? What's coming up for Froglings? Anything you want to kind of tap on?
Right now, what I'm really going hard on is like Swamp Records. I think that's like kind of cool. Especially when I got into like the GIF side of things, it was kind of cool to just like make those mini videos and stuff. And I've been seeing a lot of people like it on the timeline. A lot of people logging onto the site, and it's kind of cool when you see people like sign up and you're like, oh, a new person is using it. So like I've been just getting feedback from people and just trying to make it better. Thinking of different things that I can add to it and just like building on top of that as well. I think IP, I think like trying to get content out, I think all those things are important for anything that we do in this space. And I kind of like want to just keep building that out right now.
And when you say IP, what for people that may not be tapped in like Web3, what does IP mean to you?
Oh, so IP means to me, so like for instance, when I bought my mutant, right? I own the IP. I can use it for whatever I want to use it for. I could make an energy drink today and put my mutant on it, right? Stuff like that is kind of like I wanted to do stuff with my mutant. I wanted to make short comedy scenes with my mutant, short TikTok videos with my mutant, and I was like, oh yeah, if I want to do this, there's people out there that want to do it as well, right? Trying to just want to bring this thing that they bought, they use money to buy it, right? Invested in this asset, and I'm going to use it to just proliferate the brand, right? And like while I bring my IP to life, it's something I own. I could try to add monetary value to it by being a content creator, right? Like people that make those short animation scenes on TikTok, funny stuff. When those go viral, they kind of make a couple bucks from it, stuff like that, right? If people want to also do that, I felt like it was cool for people to just like do it. It's been helping me out. I started a TikTok with it. I've been posting it on my timeline regularly. It's kind of been helping my engagement and stuff like that in the space as well. So I thought people want to do it, and like why do we do all these NFTs? Why are we in this space? Why do we want these avatars, right? Let's bring them to life.
Absolutely, yeah, and that was going to be my next question. Was would you say that what got you into NFTs was more of the investment standpoint or the art?
So that's funny. I actually didn't want to come in this space. At the beginning, I was a Doge maxi, so I made it off like Dogecoin. And like when the first boom happened, I remember I didn't like crypto. One of my friends forced me to buy it, so I bought it, and I ended up making sense at the end. So one of my cousins, he kept telling me about like NFTs. He was like, "Come in here, buy this artwork," and like this stuff going crazy. And I was like, "No, I'm not interested." Then he finally got me into it because there's this artwork that I always say that was the first thing I bought. It was like Heroes Playing Cards by Jose Delbo. It's basically like a poker scene with Superman, Batman, Aquaman, just like mixed heroes just playing poker, and I thought that was sweet. So when I saw that, I bought it, and from there, like learning how to get my MetaMask, getting gas fees and stuff like that, I started looking into like at that point it was Nifty Gateway. So I started scrolling through Nifty Gateway, and I started falling in love with art. I just started to like art, and I think the reason was because I saw like-minded individuals make art. Before it was a whole bunch of rich dudes that say, okay, this is what art is, so this is what you have to believe is art. And to me, most of the stuff was stupid. Like none of that made any sense to me. But coming into NFTs, I started seeing art that I could reason with, and it kind of just drew me in. That's kind of like when I even started liking art to begin with. Was through NFTs. So it kind of like that just drew me in, and I just ended up staying, man. Learned everything, learned about the tech and stuff like that. So it's been a fun ride. But yeah, that's literally what brought me into art, NFTs as well.
So your journey into art kind of started with NFTs, but were you a collector of anything before you got into NFTs? Have you always been a collector?
Not NFTs, but I collected sneakers.
Yeah.
That's I like sneakers. I collected sneakers. I have a couple watches, not a lot. But stuff like that, I always like to collect stuff, but it was never into like NFTs. I was never a Pokemon guy. When I was a kid, I had a Pokédex, and everyone had that, but like I never grew up doing that, right? Okay, another thing was Legos. I love Legos, so like I always like build Legos and I collect them. Like I build different like figures, I keep them. So yeah, I was a collector, but in the eyes of an art person, I wasn't.
Got you. So Froglings then made their way into the other side with the avatars. What month was that? Was it 6 months ago?
Yeah, it was 6 months. It was during when everyone was getting their avatars in, because that was done by Rita and Inceptor Studios. He helped us make all the furs, different skin colors, and I think that was like 6 months ago. Yeah, correct.
I'm gonna pull this little guy up so I got something running around. Check him out, dog. What was the process like as far as ease of getting the actual avatar in once it was prepared, and having because you said you minted on NFTs to me, which was a launch platform. Did you have to do contract migration or anything?
Oh yeah, that was hell, and it happened to like everything just worked out perfectly too. So it was during Ape Fest. We were launching. We had to do like the V2 contract and V2 collection and everything. And King Pickle was the one that helped me with the whole process. So shout out to King Pickle. And we also had that night was crazy because we were outside and Who's Big kind of just pulled me, held me by the shoulder and like took me to like OX Quit. I was like, OX Quit, this is my man Art. What's up? And I was like, OX Quit, I'm about to shoot my shot. And he was like, well, you can shoot it. I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything. I was like, we're releasing this Frogling contract, and I just want you to look at it. And he was like, oh yeah, I'll help you with that. I'll help you do everything. And by the time I got to my hotel, he already looked at everything, sent me what needed to be changed, everything. And King Pickle ended up fixing that, and we launched it like the next day. So that was like pretty sweet. So it was easy. It was like if you had it in your wallet, you just kind of like got airdropped the new ones. And OpenSea and Magic Eden at that time had delisted the old ones, the old contract.
Yeah,
But yeah, so for me, it was difficult. I'm pretty sure King Pickle was going through it. But he kind of inspired me to start even building and doing different things now. So it's like crazy how much stuff I've learned and have done since then.
Yeah, and I was going to pull up the collection if that's okay with you.
Oh, yeah.
And just kind of scroll through the traits and stuff, give people a visual. And so this is Froglings. Yep. This is a 2,222 piece collection. And what did you say the mint price on this was?
Oh, zero.
Free mint?
Yep, free mint.
Okay, so free mint now $12.68. Insanely cheap for what you get with the community. And that's the main thing was, dealing with being with Froglings and being a community member myself is going in the spaces, being welcome, the conversation, people having a good time, talking about, future of whether it be other side or the space as a whole, or even just kind of what they have going on. So go ahead. You're good.
You go ahead. No, I was going to say, I love the Frogling spaces, man. It's just different conversations happening. And everyone's down to earth. That's the best part. It's just conversations just flowing out easy. Different things are being discussed, other side, life, everything. It's a wonderful space.
Absolutely. Man, I got to know, what is your favorite trait in the Froglings collection?
So my favorite trait is the 8 Pain t-shirt. Yeah, I told you because I don't know, I just like Max Payne.
Close.
So if you go close. Yeah. I like the 8 Pain t-shirts. I like the Doom mask. The Doom mask are pretty sweet too.
And this is version 2 of the Froglings, correct? So
yes,
and I can toggle right here.
So you can't toggle right here because OpenSea doesn't have. If you click it, it takes you to like a website that you could toggle. But the cool thing is that if you go to the froglings.xyz, so if you go to froglings.xyz and you connect your wallet, it's basically a hub, and you could do everything on there. You could flip your Froglings, you could stake your Froglings, you could do anything you want, like built up there. We also have a wallet tracker, we have an alpha tracker, we have different things on there built to help people, and there's games on there. And there's a couple of different raffles. We have a couple community members who have been doing a great job getting us whitelist spots for different mints that have been coming up, and people have been winning that in the raffle section and stuff. So it's pretty cool. If you get on there, it's pretty self-explanatory, and you see everything that's going on.
Yeah, you want to walk me through some stuff you got going on the website?
Yeah. So go to if you connected to the wallet, yeah. Go dashboard at the top.
Oh, I need to connect first, right?
Oh yeah, connect your wallet, yeah.
Let's see, which one do I need to use?
Probably browser wallet.
Yeah.
Whatever one has your frog in it.
All right, so we're connected here. Go to dashboard. Go ahead, you're good. You just bossed me around, dog.
You said what?
I said just boss me around. Tell me where to go.
So you're already kind of set up. So that's all the Luma that you've like staked so far. You see at the top, you could claim it now if you want to claim it, or you could just keep letting it go. What you could use Luma for is that you could use Luma to enter raffles, whitelist spots, different NFTs that I give out for free, and also different whitelist spots, right? So that's basically how like you prove your loyalty, right, to the Froglands. You stake your frogs, and you have Luma minted to you. The cool part is that it's not a hard stake; it's a soft stake. So basically, it doesn't leave your wallet after you stake. But
Okay,
when
so
you do try,
no
try
actions needed as far as locking them up or anything. You get
no.
rewarded just for holding the asset in your wallet.
Oh, so if you go to the bottom, you see where it says staking. So yeah, you're already staking everything. Looks like you got one more. You bought one more at some point, so you just have to like stake that one as well, and that means you have everything staked. But as you stake them, you earn Luma for every stake. So you don't want, and that doesn't leave your wallet. It's still in your wallet because it's a soft stake.
Awesome. And then you said I can use my Luma for
So if you
raffles.
go to, yeah,
Is the raffles up right now?
let's see.
Let's see what we
Okay, it's
got.
probably whitelist spots, raffles up. But there's no like raffles up. So right now it's just whitelist spots. So you could use your Luma to enter different whitelist spots. For whitelist spots, the Luma entry is very little. But like when we have like other APN NFTs like Mimos up or Pixel Pals and stuff like that, it's always like 1,000 Luma to get in, right? But for whitelist spots, it's very tiny because we try to give everyone a chance to get in. Yeah, but
Gotcha.
there's been a lot of whitelist spots going on. Every day, every 2 days, there's a new mint that people have the chance to mint if they want to mint. So it's just like another thing that we give out to people. A lot of people take advantage of it too.
Awesome. Okay, so you can just spend your Luma that you get for holding froglings and get whitelist spots and
Whitelist
yeah.
spots or raffles. So if you also different raffles as well that people like, we've given out Mimus, we've given out G's, given out Dobbs, Token Gators, a bunch of stuff. And that's kind of like just knowing who enters the most, like kind of where you could judging who enters the most raffles, seeing who's hot. Nothing really there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What else we got on here? We got games, quests. Do I need to do my quest?
Yeah, so Quest was something that I added during the InfoFi season. Right now, there's no InfoFi going on anymore, so nobody uses Quest as much. Back in the day, people try to get impressions on their tweets or whatever, so they could get the funding that was coming from all those like InfoFi stuff. But right now, that's not being used. Games, if you go to games, we have like just kind of like fun games there. If people want to play. There's Froglands. There's Swamp Siege, which is kind of like a tower defense kind of a game, right? So people could just like start. Yeah, so it's a tower defense style of a game. You get a frog. It's just kind of like mobile games that if you're bored, you could play stuff like that, right? And there's also like Froglands Duel, where if you had somebody to play with, you guys would be able to like fight each other's frogs, and all the frogs have a battle card, and the battle card is basically on the weapons they carry and stuff like that. So you could choose what kind of frog you want to play with. You could play with demo if you want to, or you could play with an opponent, someone. But that those were the only two things that you could do right now. I didn't continue building this out. I just thought that it was something fun that people could do when they get to the page. Then if you
Yeah.
go to the
Go ahead. You're good.
if you go to the Swamp Tools or Swamp Tricks, sorry. So Swamp Tricks has like the lore, basically what the Froglands are about, like our story, what we plan on building out in form of our story, our series. So that's kind of what the Froglands are. If you go to, um, that's like if you submit your lore, it's like if you kind of want your Frogland in an animation, you could submit your lore, right? And I will make an animation with your Frogland. Like I'll bring your Frogland to life based on kind of what you want it to be. And kind of we'll use it to push the Frogland's content and stuff like that as well. So that's what some of your lore is. But if you go back to Swamp Tricks, Animation is just different places that we drop animation on if you kind of want to download and use them. Just different Froglins animations. Um, and now it's even better because those swap records, you could just kind of do everything on there. But if you go back to the top, um, what's next? Wardrobe. That's where you could basically flip your Froglins from right to left. So if you go to the bottom, scroll to the bottom. All right, when your Froglins come up, do you see the arrows, the round arrows at the bottom of each frog? Yeah, if you click that, it'll prompt your wallet and you flip your Froglins to V1 from V2.
Oh,
And that,
there he is.
that will also change right on OpenSea as well.
Okay.
So it depends on you. If you like, some people like the V1 artwork, some people like the V2 artwork. Depends on them. They could just come here and switch it.
Check that guy out, bro. He's the best.
I know. It's
I think dirty. Dirty Frogling, bro. Love it, dude. Okay,
Yeah,
so
like the 3D. Then if you do the stats, then you do stats, that just kind of shows everything about the collection, like showing top holders and stuff like that. Showing the holder distribution, things like that. Just like a full stats page of the frogs.
what is? Come on now, who's big? What you doing, Dom? All right. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So you got stats, OpenSea, ape scan. Nice, very clean. And this is staking.
You're showing how many are being staked.
37% stake.
Yeah, a lot of people are probably not even. A lot of people don't even know they have these in their wallets, to be honest. But it shows like the stake is stuff like that, and community. But need to update that more. More coming soon.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But if you go to the true rarity, that's kind of like where you could get the true rarity for every frog, because we have V1 and V2, and because like I'm sure Pixel has that problem too, because OpenSea is not kind of hip yet to the point where it's well, it looks like it's not loading. Well, okay, it's loading. So basically, it tells you like which one is rank number 1, rank number 2, who's held by if you want to go buy it. Because on OpenSea, when you flip from V1 to V2, because it's 2 different metadata, it messes with the rarity. And I don't like people thinking that one that's not rare is rare and they go buy it and they get hurt. And that's why I put off the rarity on OpenSea. So if you go to OpenSea, you don't see how rare it is. You have to really look for what you want. And some people might like something different, and you can see the 2 different artworks here. So at the top, you could preview V0 or you could preview V1, and you could just kind of see it here. And you could also see who owns it if they signed up on the Swamp Hub and chase them down.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah, so something I just added to help people out.
Yeah, that's dope, dude.
Yeah.
Good way to keep up with it. At least it's all there, you know what I mean?
It tells you which one's listed as well too, so it's kind of cool too.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. All right. We gotta get off here, bro. I can't let people know my move.
And the Will of Ribbit is based, so like we were in spaces at some point and people kept asking me that, like, some people that had 1 or 2 frogs, right? And can't buy one right now, always wanted more Luma so they could get into the whitelist spots. And because they burn everything on their whitelist spots and they want more Luma. So I just added like a wheel of Luma. So it's kind of like gambling. I probably shouldn't have brought you here. I'm just joking. But it helps you like
what are you talking about? What are you talking about, dude?
I'm just messing with you, bro.
What you talking about? I don't even gamble, bro.
It helps you like claim Luma, like to help you get into whitelist spots and stuff like that.
Nice.
So it's like you could spin for 1 ape to 5 ape. I didn't want to add like 100 ape kind of spin. I just wanted to make it easy for people. So you just do that to win Luma. Something simple.
Use it if you're locked in. You can use it at the right time when the whitelist spots pop up.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Instead of saying that you want to go, even though I want people to go buy more frogs so they could stake more to get more Luma. It's also like how Magic Eden had like the lucky stuff at the bottom where they said if you spin this then you could win the NFT or you just get some points. Stuff like that was what I thought of and I just added that.
Sweet. And this is
and that's like the marketplace. It's when people want to buy froglings that they see in the treasury wallet and stuff like that, I just put it here and like they could buy it from here.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, dude. Cooking.
Yeah, there's also like if you go to the dashboard. So if you go to the bottom, scroll down. There's also like if you go to portfolio, oh my god, what expose me. Goddamn G-Spot. You're gonna cry in a couple years. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Brother, dude, let me tell you something. Once it's going out of my hands, I don't think about it a fucking time again. You know?
Yeah, if you go to like the staking, and there's also like a tracker. So if you want to track people's wallets and stuff, like if you like want to find out like what people are buying and stuff like that, you can use that. There's also like a scanner that tells you what's minting right now, stuff like that, and like what smart money is if you're a trader and stuff like that. And there's also an alpha section at the top that like if people put in like alpha and like you could choose to take it or not, just alpha colors in the group. So just a bunch of cool things that I just thought and just added to it. It's probably overkill, but yeah.
Yeah, and is it just based on ape chain NFTs, or does this EVM in general?
Yeah,
if you do
EVM in general.
Nice, so they could do meme coins or NFTs.
So no meme coins. It's strictly just NFTs.
Just
but
NFTs.
EVM NFTs,
yeah. Get wild. It could get wild, dog, with some meme coin calls in that thing.
See, that's when I don't want people calling me a scammer. But like there's also like different rankings at the top. So you see where it says like your level. Odogu from where I come from means chief. So it means that you have the highest title that a frogling could have, which is Odogu. So that's kind of pretty cool too. Just kind of like added cool stuff as well. Because if you had less froglings, the color of the dashboard would look different.
Oh, but I'm the daddy.
Yeah, I guess. So,
I'm just playing with you. Oh man. Well, dude, this is awesome, man. Do you want to talk about anything? I know we're getting close to needing to swap out and get on Bullies. You got anything coming up you want to touch on, or anything else you want me to scroll through real quick?
I can end it with Swamp Breakers. Let's do something real quick. Go to the top.
Okay, hold on 1 second. All right.
I'll go to home.
Home.
See where it says Swamp Breakers? Just check it out. Probably went to another screen, didn't it?
Yeah, I went on.
All right, so this is basically the app that I'm working on now, Swamp Breakers, music, videos and stuff, cool stuff that you could do. It has a whole tour guide, so when you get here, it's not difficult. There's always pop-up that's going to help you through the whole process. If you're on your mobile app, where G-Spot's cursor is on, you could install it on your phone. So it works like a mobile app on your phone, so you could do stuff directly from your phone. And shout out to like a bunch of apes that's been helping me like test it out and just giving me recommendations to make that better. This is basically how the homepage looks out. If you go to music at the top, you can listen to all the songs that have been released by different people on here, just kind of like Spotify. Different people have released singles, songs, different artists. You could go to the next one where it's collect.
Where am I going?
At the top where it says collect.
Top, collect.
No, top where you got music in the nav bar. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's like artists that drop their songs, and if you want to mint them, this is if an artist wants to mint on chain, you could also mint your songs on chain, and you could collect it on that page. And at the top, if you go to artists, then there you could read bio about different artists on the website, like different people that have made a character or whatever on the app as well. Then log in if you can. Is this wallet delegate?
Yes.
All right. So this is basically your console. If you want to create stuff, right? You could edit your name there if you wanted to edit your name. If you go to, and I'll do this real quick, and we go to bullies, but let's go to generate, for instance. Oh yeah, just do that. All right, so let's go make an artist first. Actually, cancel this. At the top of the go to generate again. At the bottom, you see is where it says build a full persona. Yeah, do that. All right, then you say import from approved NFT. Do you have your quota delegated to this?
I don't know what's all. Oh, there we go.
All right, so it's just so you can hit that, and at the top, go down. You could give him any name that you want to.
Remy.
And also, you want to change the artist name, too. And next, then here you can choose what genre you want.
Where's country at, man?
You said what? I guess I gotta add that. Somebody has country songs on there though.
Oh, good. Good. All right, so vibe.
Yeah, Bull Market Rich has country songs. Like I'm not gonna make you do this now. You could do it later. Your bio. This kind of affects the songs you make, the scenes that are made, and stuff like that. Your visual style is basically your traits from your metadata that's already in there. If you want to change it, you could change it. You can have visual style if you wanted to do stuff like that. You probably need female for yours. Just messing with you.
Cause you ugly, boy.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
I'll do rebellious energy.
Right.
I'm a low energy, rebellious, punchy, rhythmic male.
You are low energy. You talk a lot of shit though. I'm just mad. Then it's like you choose your audience and stuff like that. And you could work on this later too as well. So whatever you choose doesn't matter right now.
Cool.
All right, and just hit next. All right, and create. All right, so for every avatar there is, I have the GLBs coming in, but for apes here, I don't have that yet. But if you go to edit artist, right there, right there, yeah, you see where it says drop your GLB in here. Once you download do you have your avatar? Or once you download it from dashboard, you could just upload it there, and it's stuck to your ape. And
sweet.
That's kind of like what you use for like video synths and stuff like that.
Okay, so when it generates songs, it can generate videos to go along with the songs with your ape.
Yeah. So I'll show you something now,
right.
And we can make another show again in the future to go over it because I don't want to go over Bully's time.
No, you're good. I hope we'll be fine. Where am I clicking?
No, you just click out of it.
Oh, out. Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to releases on the side. On the sidebar. Yeah, releases. So this is where you could release songs if you want to. So you could go to like different songs. You just go to new release, and you put a name of a song. You can have AI make your song, or you could put lyrics if you want. And I'll send you some credits so you could try it out later and just give me some feedback on it as well.
Will do.
Yeah, just send me your wallet. I'll send you some credits in there. But if you click out of it again, then you see the G floops under That's where you can make different GIFs. And I've provided my GIFs that I've made on the side so people could just copy prompts. But if you go to the top, you see where if your avatar was there, it'll show beside your ape, and you just click that. Then you could also upload a GLB, like introducing guest if you want to. So if you had Cryptobulliez avatar, you could upload it there, or you could pick an artist from all the artists that you've made on your bio. That if you go down, you could get inspiration from a gift that you like. I do give a warning at the top that those gifts are hard to create. Some of them work out well, some of them don't if you do the inspiration, right? But I also give you my prompts, like the ones that I've done that like I know would work. And if you just copy those prompts and use them with yours, they work the same too as well. There's also like different backdrops. I've been introducing like the Ape Chain has been what they call it. Ape Chain has been dropping those different artworks, and I've been adding them to the pick a background, and you could lock the background in there and basically just what is it? And basically have your avatar. The other day I posted my mutant driving a car, and I did it all through here, stuff like that.
Sweet. Oh yeah.
So this is how you make GIF loops, and all this stuff for like 5 seconds, not longer than 5 seconds, and they're just kind of like funny 5-second clips, right? That you could make here. They only cost $2.50, and all payable in ape per $2.50 per generation, and they're payable in ape.
Cool. Hell yeah, dude. And so Swamp Records, do you want to? What's our time? We're running long. I was about to say we could pull up somebody's stuff if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, and before you finish, Video Studio.
Okay.
At the bottom. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So there's also guides everywhere. But the Video Studio is if you had a song right already done, you could make in here. You could make your avatar lip sync the song to whatever part that you wanted to lip sync, or you could just make an original video if you want to make something longer than 5 seconds. So the GIF loops are for people that don't know how to use the Video Studio and just want to make quick 5-second funny clips. And the Video Studio are for people who actually want to make like a 15-second long video, or make the avatar lip sync to their song, stuff like that. That's what the Video Studio is for. But yeah. That's about it. And there's also a prompt lab right there that helps people. If you don't know how to prompt at the top, that helps you with your prompts and the top and the sidebar. Yeah, prompt lab. Yeah, it helps you like prompt lyrics, help you prompt different style prompts for your videos and stuff like that if you don't know how to prompt. So you could choose your vibe, stuff like that, your mood, and they'll help you bring out a prompt for you.
Damn, that's really neat, bro.
Yeah,
it's dope. I'm gonna have to get in here and as far as credits on this goes,
yeah. So if you go to credits at the sidebar, yeah, you can just do it right there.
Got you. Okay.
So Drax is the personal AI agent for everyone.
Okay.
So the credits are $5, $8, $20, and $50, all payable in ape. You see the $5 option could make you 2 GIF loops. The $8 option can make you 3 GIF loops. The $20 can make you 9, and the $50 will make you 20 GIF loops. And if you just wanted to make songs, it's $5 another thing I want to tell people: if you're an artist and you just wanted to mint on chain and you didn't want to use AI to make songs and none of that, you don't have to buy credits. You can make your artist, which is for free, and you could upload your songs on there as well to your artist that you've already made before. So you don't actually have to buy AI credits to make songs. But if you're someone that uses AI to make songs, like you use Suno and stuff, you could just do this.
Sweet. So you can just import them in.
Yeah, you can just import your songs too. Like once you create your artist and you do a release, you could just upload your song there instead of actually making an AI song.
And then you can use your songs with the video creation.
Yep, and you'll lip sync to it as well.
Awesome, dude. Well, hell yeah, bro. This is dope. I want to get to Bulliez if you want to hang around. Like I said, it's open platform. Bulliez, are you tapped in, or do you still need a minute?
I am here. I am here.
Jeez.
I am here.
I am here, sirs. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for having me, G-Spot.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, we'll get on through, and then there's one question I'm gonna ask both of y'all at the end before we close out. Mr. Bullies.
What it do?
A question that I asked Art when he came in, and gonna ask you too. Do you consider yourself a founder, an artist, or dev first?
That's interesting. I don't know. I think when you're in a situation like one-man team, you kind of want to figure out which of those terms is all-encompassing. It's kind of all the above, but I guess founder is out of all those options, the one that kind of covers all, right? But it isn't always the case, right? You have founders who are good at creating teams and delegating work and want to be, part of a team that's creating something and working toward a common goal. I've always been kind of like singular focus as like a one-man team behind Pixel Pals, right? It started off as just like me drawing out some traits in the laundromat with my son, who now just graduated high school, right? He was just there like giving me some feedback, and then I'll have my younger kids giving me some feedback. My daughter was a little bit too young at the time, but it started off as just kind of like me just trying a medium that I never really did before, right? Like pixel art. I've done so many other mediums, physical, like IRL stuff, and so on. And yeah, I guess for me, like it has to be founder to answer your question, because I started off as the artist. I've utilized all the experience I have from a dev standpoint, and I don't have a team, right? So I can't say anyone else part of my team is taking on those roles. I'll take it on myself. So
absolutely, man. And what other mediums did you say? Well, first of all, when did art and being, well, I guess you found her first. So when was the first time you would have considered yourself a founder, either in business, or was it in Web3?
Wow. It has, I mean, shit, it's a pretty broad question. I would say like founder, right? I've always kind of been like driven to work and do something that like that just only required me and a talent and experience, right? And I would say like packing bags at 9 years old at a supermarket in order to get money to buy things that I couldn't otherwise get. Single mom, 7 kids she had, didn't have a job, public assistance. It was if I needed anything, if I wanted anything, like I had to figure out how I was going to get it, right? It was never like, Mom, can I get that? So I've always been driven, had that kind of mindset, that, dog mentality. Like if you're not working for it, you're not going to get anything. And I think it carried through my whole life, like going from doing like little odd jobs like that, where I don't necessarily have a boss, but if I show up and I just do what I got to do, I get paid off the books. And that carried over to pumping gas, babysitting, cutting hair, doing tattoos, creating landing pages for people, even creating custom MySpace pages back in the day. If you remember, you can edit the HTML there. It started off as these little odd jobs, and I've always kind of been like, an entrepreneur in that way. Going into college, I made my money on campus cutting hair, right? Utilizing what I've known, what I've learned, acquired over the time. I used to do paintings and portraits for people and caricatures and sell those, and that's how I made money from an artist standpoint, in addition to tattooing and cutting hair. Same difference, just different medium, if you will, right? Hair and skin, but it's kind of the same thing. It's all an art form to me. And yeah, I think after college, got into my career and started working for the man. And really, that was like first time really working for someone else, like in that capacity, where I started off as an internship, going into, you know, ad tech and well, ad operations and tech from like a website standpoint, so building software in the web and all that. And then I started my company. I think that's like from a like if I said career wise, you know, I've sold a couple things in the past prior to starting this one, and this one was the one that's like over a decade old now, right? Digital publishing company, own and operate websites, acquire traffic through paid media, and throughout all this, I've always been a dev, you know, but now learning the business side of marketing, both on the buy and sell side. And digital advertising, which you know, some would say is the same, but also it's not, right? Marketing is the traffic acquisition part of things, but also selling the inventory that you have to make money with the advertisements. That's been kind of the culmination of like the last decade in my career. It's just been building out that business. I got into Web3 2021. I think a lot of people did. I had way more time. We closed the office after a year of COVID, worked from home already throughout that first year of COVID, cut our expenses, just closed the office, and literally everyone worked from home. But it afforded me the time to kind of like dive into other ventures. These are hours that I would take to, you know, commute or take a lunch break, whatever the case may be. I've found myself kind of just having, right? Which is great. I have my kids here in the house, so I get to be, you know, daddy with them and all that. But again, kind of going back to that go-getter mentality. Hey, here's an opportunity to utilize this time. How can I like add another stream of income, you know? And initially it was like, well, I have my own portfolio here, but let me start another portfolio in stocks. I was trading stocks. Then I started trading crypto. And then eventually 2021 got into the NFT things. And initially, it was about like, hey, it seems like there's a huge opportunity here to make some money, right? So I was just a trader. I was, you know, community. Then I started becoming a community member, joining these projects. I think I've shared this story many times. I jumped into this space and my first experience was like losing like a lot of fucking money, like getting like, if you know, it was the dumbest thing in the world. The one thing everyone says don't do, I didn't know. I was so new to wallets and wallet security and all that, and just fell for this site that was a reputable, this reputable team and project, Little Things at the time. Their Twitter got hacked. And the people linked it to some other site. I ended up on that site trusting Little Things. Ended up seeing a pop-up, hey, enter this, enter that, enter seed phrase. I know a lot now, but at the time I didn't, and I did, and said bye to like fucking 15K at the time, and that made me dive into the back end of things. So I'm like, hey, I'm a dev, like let me start seeing what's going on here. Like I've been kind of, you know, just kind of diving into the stuff and the communities of everything, and like, you know, rosy glasses, if you will, right? Just kind of like, this is cool. Then when that happened, I was like, oh, what the fuck is this, right? What happened? I started diving into Etherscan, looking at the contract that was made, look at the website again, you know, knowing not to do anything, and tied everything back to this guy who eventually, through many transactions, took all those funds and ran it into a crypto game. Didn't make any money from it, spent that 15K buying these digital assets to play a game with. And I was just like, this is fucked. Like that's money like I was hoping to flip and shit. Either way, said, you know what? We'll start a new wallet. We'll do it again. Then in 2022, in January, just a couple weeks later, had my first big NFT sell. 5E4, a Coolman's universe. That put me back in green, you know, made me a believer again, and you know, and so on. But that was literally my entrance into the space. Like I had this time, you know, wanted to figure out another opportunity, was doing other things, and boom. From there, I started saying, hey, this. So I dove so much from, you know, into contracts and all that I wanted to now create things. So I started building, and I built some random things, conform chaos. You know, I had this passion of creating, you know, with P5.js, creating art with JavaScript, right? And so I decided, hey, let me release a collection, you know, and Conform Chaos came out. That was like a 3,333 size collection on Ethereum mainnet, free mint, sold out, no secondary sales, right? Like everybody got it, and then that's pretty much it. Happy New Year, which is funny. Like that was the next thing I dropped, and it was a concept of every single NFT being an IPF hosted app. So it was a simple app. It was an interactive countdown, like New Year's Eve countdown. And you can tap it, you can drag it. It has these shells that you see with, you know, CSS and JavaScript and so on. But at the, you know, then you get the countdown. New Year's, get a big old fireworks show for the first day of the year, every year. And then it resets on the second. And it was AI generated backgrounds, through Midjourney and so on, and it just minted out as a free mint. It just minted out like this last year, right? Like I was like, yo, look what I found, this random collection I did. And I think what shot me, you know, was like OpenSea just delisted it, like in the middle of a mint. It was already free, but like it was delisted. It's like, why would you delist it? They wouldn't tell me. OpenSea is the worst support team I've ever seen. Especially in the emails. So I just didn't get anything, right? So with no like feedback or anything of like, hey, why? Like I just said, whatever, I'll chalk it up. Then just kept supporting other people from a dev standpoint, from an artist standpoint, with their projects and so on, and trading and going into Base and Solana and so on as just a degen, right? Then I supported a couple other people with their projects, and eventually said, you know what, I want to start working on something again. Like it was very disheartening. I think the worst part was the first collection I created, someone else came out of nowhere with this alias, Anon, and he was taking art projects, much like Conform Chaos, and re-releasing them as smaller collections, but the same exact IPFS address, like my art that I worked on. This dude like created like an alias, created like, you know, some, I guess, heat or whatever, but ultimately he attracted people that was buying. They was not just minting, they was buying on secondary. And this dude made so much, even OpenSea made so much money on the transaction fees alone for this thing, and all his collections, like as a collective, for things he's never created. Like he didn't, you know, and I was a victim alongside other artists. But that was disheartening. I was like, oh, like, you know, I knew the art was cool, but I didn't have this like reputation that would kind of, you know, coincide with it to drive in secondary interest. But that was like, oh, right. So that was kind of part of the reason why I just said, let me just go into degen mode again. Fast forward randomly 2023, but it's 2023, 2024. I think it's 2024. Beginning of 2024, I started working on the pixel art, right? Had a nice collection size, very, 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 very like wide range of traits and so on. Had to create custom generators for this because of all the different, you know, combinations and the do's and the don'ts and all that I had put in place. Had a lot of restrictions, but initially Pixel Pals, I was planning to launch on Base because I just helped somebody else with their Micromigos on Base. And I was just like fresh off of deploying contracts on Base. And I was like, cool, this seems like it might be a good chain that's going to grow. Let me just build here. Pretty much from there, I think at the moment I was about to release this, then the announcement came out in Ape Fest about Ape Chain, and I was like, dude, I've always been down with, you know, the other side. I've jumped into every single one of their experiences. I was part of Mutant Shiba Club as a holder, where that whole project was kind of promising, hey, we're gonna get some, and they did. They invested a lot into other deeds and mutants and codas and all that, right during and after the mint, where it was like they spent a lot of money on it. And we had this belief that we were going to have this land and the other side and all that. So I was, at the time, I was like, oh yeah, like this sounds cool. Like, fuck, you know, like Yuga has a chain. Let me go in here. So said, scratched off base. Let me go ahead and launch this here. At the time, I have a bunch of scripts, I should say, P5JS scripts that I've made over the years. But I was like, I kind of want to drop an art project. Like when the first day I was trading on Ape Chain, second day I dropped the second installation from that alias art by code, which is Isometric Paradise. And it was kind of like a play on like the dismay and the despair of like an artist in this space, kind of like because of what happened with Conform Chaos. So it was like initial supply 999 versus a burn for, you know, if people weren't minting. So either you minted or it was going to keep getting burnt. So initially it got all the way, eventually, it got burnt all the way down to a supply of only 111. So there's only 111 of those, but that's the second like installation for art by code, right? And again, I always, you know, own the ownership of those two collection as an artist. It is what it is. It's art, you know. But Pixel Piles came out the next day, and I did have a mint page and everything. I was going to use a mint page, but no one was minting from web pages like outside of marketplaces at that time. This is true as like the Rotten Bananas, which being one of the first contracts deployed on Ape Chain, it even by someone who was in the community. I wasn't a holder, right? So this is somebody who was a holder. People knew who he was and his daughter, and they still didn't mint it, right? So I knew that, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to use a launchpad. So I went with Mintpad or NFTs to me. There was no Blever at the time, and so I went live with Mintpad. IPFS hosted, everything was already hosted. I just went live there. Free mint took forever to mint out. I was on every Ape Chain space you could think of all day long. One of the earliest and largest contributors to the social push on Twitter for Ape Chain. And of course, through that, promoted and gave away a bunch of Pixel Piles and so on. And, you know, I'm very proud of it. It started off as just this, you know, static, you know, pre-curated PFPs, IPF hosted. And then I always wanted to kind of build and iterate on it. So I started working on models. This is before Other Side opened up to all the projects. Started working on custom contracts to put everything on chain and make them customizable and all that. And built the level up, right? So with the level up, you know, you now have all the art on chain. It's an open migration. I didn't just force the airdrop on everybody, but it was just like, hey, there's so much utility baked into this next step, this next phase of Pixel Piles that I wanted to, yeah, you can click on one of those and you'll see like instantly some of the cool stuff that I built. That's an on-chain generated HTML page, right? Where you can see, if you click on the left, you're going to see the inventory, the left button there. That's the inventory. That's every trait that Pile owns, for example, right? And then if you scroll down, you'll see more things like overlays and views. That means the overlays and views are community created traits. Like overlays is a trait and view is like a skew, a representation of that PFP that holders can create themselves and add to the contract on chain. They can make money by selling it where other people can buy it. 80% of that goes back to the creator. you can see the 3D toggle and all that, and see what it looks like even before you buy it, you know. But there's so much to it. Like, I mean, that's kind of like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the level up. We have trait cards and trait packs. Every actual trait is again 2D pixels on chain, but also a 3D counterpart that I've personally modeled. I've had collaborations with amazing artists in the space and devs in the space, founders in the space. Shout out to Uncle Mac. The first collab we had was with MindBoys. He had made MindBoy, really cool app. Obviously, we know him from the Mind prior to that with RuggedDev and all those efforts. But he hasn't stopped cooking even before that and since. So I definitely wanted to work with him. The cool thing about it was I made the contracts in a way where, you know, I can have a signing key be generated and it can be minted from anywhere as long as that signing key was, you know, verified. So I gave him a script, said, hey, here's the contract, here's the method, here's the script you can use to generate the signing key, and let's host this in MindBoy. So people were mining in MindBoy, finding and discovering the first trait pack. And when they found it, they had the option of minting or not. And they didn't have to. They could have just kept, you know, closed it and kept mining for the next, you know, part in there, because it was very modular. You had a whole bunch of different things. But yeah, we minted out, and that was a really cool experience, really cool collaboration. And with that one, I made both the 2D and the 3D. The second collection ended up being like a, you know, a giveaway, if you will. We had a Christmas drop, right? So I wanted to kind of like, I saw this like slow down in migrations, and I wanted to incentivize people to migrate, but also to give back to everybody who's been supporting, you know, all this time. So we have these Christmas trait packs, right? And you can go to the trait pack section and all that eventually, right? But pretty much you can see everything, all the details there for the packs and the cards and chance games. Oh, Evan Hilton was the second one. I forgot. So Evan Hilton, that was actually a really cool one where the very first 2D traits that was created by someone other than me was Evan Hilton in this collection. So I showed him some of how it worked, the Pixel Studio that we use that anybody can use, and showed him the silhouette and like a proof of concept for what like a petal ape would look like. He ran with it and created all these different traits that we kind of, you know, went through, filtered out, iterated on, and eventually came up with this set. And then I created the 3D counterparts for all those 2D traits. I did the same thing with Token Gators and Paper D as well. Shout out to them. And then obviously between that was the Christmas drop. So yeah, I almost forgot about the Evan Hilton drop. How could I? But the cool thing is, like, I'm very like data driven. You'll look in the site and you'll start to see all the details, all the stats about the trait cards, the trait packs, and even just like how POWs are ranked in our ecosystem, right? The level up is about like curating and collecting, and your POW through curating a collection of traits and so on actually levels up. And the rank that you see in OpenSea, it's only based on the traits that is equipped to your POW, right? It isn't based on all the traits that POW owns and the rarity of each of those traits. We have our own scoring system internally that does this within our app, in our DApp. And you can see that. You go to gallery, you can actually filter, you can sort by rarity, you can actually filter OG versus level up. And so if you want to see the most rarest OGs or the rarest level up, you can actually sort it right there in descending order by rarity, right? So you can kind of see those are the most rarest ones. And it's not rare because what is equipped. It's rare because what's owned by that POW, right? So if you're ripping packs and you're collecting traits through anything, like I was doing other activations, other ways you can get traits. For example, with the first level up trait was you had to migrate POWs. You had to claim a badge on op.xyz, and then essentially after that period, you got airdropped new traits, and it's the first traits of the 2.0 collection, if you will, the level up collection, and the first traits outside of the original sets that had its own 3D counterpart as well. So, this is a passion project of mine. I think it's something that like I will continue to build for and around, and haven't deployed these things yet, but I have a few things too that I'll show you. It's on testnet. It's ready to go live. I just kind of was like in this period where I was kind of going through some other things, I would say. I don't want to put it all out there, but in addition to that, I wanted to keep building while going through that stuff. So I did, and iterated on what I had and started building other things as well that will benefit Pixel Pals holders in the long run, right? So even outside of everything that you're going to see in our DApp and the new contracts and everything, I built other things that like will add value to the Pals. So yeah, man, I mean, it's a lot. You know me. I'll keep talking, but hit me with some questions, man.
Oh yeah, you're good, dude. I was pulling up the other side to pull a Pixel Pal up in game. I love the way they look on the other side.
I appreciate it.
Let me see this guy right here. Close this. I'm sorry, I'm solo dolo, so
you're good.
Juggling the toggle. Check that guy out, dog.
Yeah, you got the yellow racer, man. I'm telling you, that's a real fun one too.
I've always been a fan of Pixel Pals, dude. I remember, first days of Ape Chain, you coming up, minting the project on live spaces, and
crazy, right?
Well, yeah, and dude, I mean, being not a salesman because you necessarily needed to sell something, but because you were passionate about what you had built in your artwork and what you've done, and you remained around as a source of information to people, and just a helpful human in Web3, in general, so I was glad to see Pixel Pals have the success that they have. And it was he said it was the first pixelated collection to mint out on. No, what was
original? Original. So any other
first original? Yeah,
it was pretty much like copies and shit, like your Punks of the world and so on, right? Yeah, I mean, it was like original. What can I say? And to mint, not mint out. Let's clarify. To mint, in terms of the age of the contract, it being live, it took a while to mint out, even as a free mint. And again, I think it was like I wasn't in that inner circle. I didn't own any Yuga assets as much as I liked Other Side and all that. I just, in terms of the budget that I allocated to the space, it wasn't within my means at the time. And yeah, I don't know, I just kept building cool shit around this, and look at it. I mean, you think about what it was when I first opened up the mint on MintPad to what it is today. This has been like me putting together my experience on 3D modeling, as an artist and pixel standpoint, as a dev, creating the contracts, all the cool tooling, as a DGen, even creating the chance games. The chance games was an effort to combat the increased supply around packs and traits. Inevitably, I'd need to get them burnt down, used to free up space for more without oversaturating the ecosystem, right? I think the biggest concern that I have around the traits and the packs right now is I made some decisions that I probably would make differently if I thought about it, now, in retrospect, about supplies of certain traits. And it was because we had this vision, right, of burning. People would use them to burn to try to get this hat. People would use them to burn to try to get this costume, for example. But there's a shit ton of those, like the The FOMO cans, there's like that's the largest supply trait in our entire collection. And a lot of people that have them don't know they have them. Token Gators holders who haven't really came into Ape Chain, but they got airdropped the asset because they were a Token Gators holder. Pixel Pals holders who were around back in the day, but aren't around now and didn't even know they got airdropped. These are things that aren't necessarily being listed, but they're in there. They exist in the total supply. That number of trait cards is higher than the number of pals, overwhelmingly higher. So it's kind of one thing that I'm going to continue to combat, and I built some really cool things to help assist in that effort. And when we dropped the pals token, when we dropped the marketplace, when we dropped all these different ways like that, we're going to basically reallocate funding from fees to do buybacks and burns in-house. That's going to be a main driving force for addressing that huge gap between pals and these assets, and creating more room for new stuff. You know, I got a bunch of traits I haven't deployed yet. And the cool thing is, like, I do all this from the UI now. I could just create a trait from my own admin panel without going into my terminal, deploying things. Like, I'm adding it directly to the contract, just like anyone can add an overlay to the contract. And that's the idea. It's like I built an entire suite of admin tools that no one really, you know, like, I use it, but no one else sees it. No one else needs to use it, you know. And I do that for everything. And all these contracts has like admin panels that allows me to really control those settings and so on. So it's a whole thing, you know. It's not just like, to some people it's a PFP, it's an avatar. To me, it's so much more. I built so much into this thing, you know. So the volatility doesn't really help, you know. The lack of awareness or attention
span. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it really doesn't help the mindset of a founder who single-handedly built all this stuff, knowing that I have so many more things that I'm going to ship out, but for whom? For
who?
Right?
Who to receive it? Yeah.
I think the one thing that I was thankful for with the approach I took around the open migration was it let me know who's here, who's actively engaging with what I'm building. If you took the time to go to the website and migrate your PAL, if you took the time to participate in a mint or buy a secondary trait card or trait pack and apply it and burn it and open it, whatever, if you took the time to jump into the studio and create traits, overlays, and sell them to other holders who are also curating and collecting, it goes a very long way to show me why. The why has never been the money. I haven't made anything here. You know what I'm saying? The entirety of the funding that I made through trait pack sales, because there was nothing from mint, has went through things like collabs, like the 3Looker thing or whatever. Like I try to, you know, I paid like $600 or whatever that was for that, in order to make sure people can use 3Look to create gifts. No one really used those. The liquidity pool for this PALS token, you know. Again, it's just like it's going to things that's going to continue to benefit the project, but not me. You know what benefits me? Showing me that you care about this stuff, that you try it, that you tried it, right? There's not a lot. Like I did a count of how many people actually created a trade through an overlay, how many people actually transacted to purchase one for their PAL from another creator. It's not a lot, right? In terms of the percentage of people who migrated, not even people of overall holders, just what percentage of the people who migrated actually also did these things. And it's underwhelming. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm big on data, but sometimes the data is like hard to look at.
It's true. Yeah,
you know?
it's true. It's truth. Yeah.
It's hard to look at because it's like I don't blame anybody. There's so much going on in the space. It's kid in the candy store, especially when the number of people walking away from the space is abundantly higher every day, right? The market is so volatile that it doesn't attract people long term. You know, that revolving door was good when it was like, okay, 2 people left, but 2 people came in. Now it's like, okay, 2 people left, no one came in, you know, and that's kind of the sentiment that I've had lately. But I didn't stop building. I have a lot of cool things that I'll show you, and I'll also show you something that I built that I'm going to be utilizing to benefit pals, and it's one of a few tools that I built over the last couple weeks, a couple weeks, and yeah, you'll hopefully you'll see the vision, right? What I'm going to show you first is something that's already been built.
Yeah, you want to pull up your screen share, and I'll pull it up.
Prior to me, like taking a step back to focus on some IRL related things. This is something I've already built, right? So, Pixel, you'll notice the use of a token icon up here, and so on. But this is like what you can expect to come out when we drop our token. We have obviously a much more simplified navigation. The front end is pretty much the same, the homepage and all that. But for the most part, what you're going to see is everything's moving toward PALS token. Even the fee for migrating PALs are actually going to be in PALS token. Why that's important to me is that it's relative to the value of a PAL versus relative to the value of ApeCoin, if that makes sense. When I first set the value of a migration was 8 ApeCoin, it was like maybe $3.50 or whatever the case may be. But as ApeCoin value kept going down, so did the cost of migrating. But still, and I'd said, hey, maybe if it's cheaper, we'll get more people to migrate. But still, we didn't see an increase in migration. This is obviously testnet way less, obviously, it's way better now if we go to Pixel Pals. But, high level, you'll see this is where we are, 56% migrated, okay? But what I'm doing is moving everything, all the fees that we collect to PALS token, and then we'll basically do buybacks and all that on PALS to fund our vault and our ecosystem. And you'll start to see where the flywheels come in and how it'll drive the value of the token and PALS floor price up as well. Okay, so first things first, where does it all start for the level up? The migration. Okay, so that's moving to PALS token. Obviously, this is a new thing. So we got our vault. This is basically where you can see, and we'll have a chart and all that for now as a placeholder. But yeah, this is where you can stake. You can earn. So you got to pay to unlock staking. I'll claim some rewards here that I've had through some of the transactions. And that's like PALS token and all that. You can stake. You can create OTC deals. That's through the marketplace. We'll get there. And so on. You can unstake. So these are, unstake. We're going to stake these. And it's bulk staking, bulk unstaking, all that. And instantly it puts your PALs to work for you. You can't unstake for 24 hours. So these are now in cooldown, but these are already well over that. And, of course, I can unstake them if I wanted to, and now I can do whatever I want to do with that guy. Couple of the benefits of staking a PAL is when you are editing your PAL in the studio, you will be able to do so for stake PALs for free. Otherwise, there's a small fee for unstaked PALs. So it's just more incentive for you to stake your PALs. There's a staking pool, obviously, that gets shared by people who are staking. And then there's protocol fees and so on that help to fund the buybacks and the entire flywheel. Okay, so first things first, we're going to have staking. You have swapping. So you can actually buy specific PALs from the vault. So these are all vaulted PALs that you can use PALs token to buy back or to buy from the vault. So we'll go ahead and buy that. Golden PAL there, right? So now that PAL is no longer in there. I can actually sell that PAL. Here it goes. I'm going to sell it back. Don't know why you would want to sell it right away. You're just going to incur some fees between the two transactions, but of course you can, right? So now if we wanted to, that PAL is now there. So that's in the vault. And it's an escrow contract that holds all these assets and so on. Yeah, you basically, it's funded by us. So we're, the project's going to drop a bunch of NFTs into the vaults on mainnet, a whole bunch of PALS token as well. And, that's kind of how that whole things works. Anybody in ApeChain should be familiar with that. It's very similar to like a G's and so on situation with the Anvil. You'll see here, I give some credit to Simple Farmer and Anvil because the contracts initially started off as Anvil contracts, but I iterated it the fuck out of it as I do. And it's very much become, our own, like adding features to it, simplifying some things, making them upgradable. But, again, without those base contracts initially, it would have been much longer for me to get to this point. So I got to credit Simple Farmer. And of course, he'll be doing the same for us when we drop as well, crediting Pixel Pals as an Anvil token. So look out for that. Swapping is just as easy. You can swap for a very specific one. So I want to swap this guy for this guy, for example, in the vault. So I'm sending one and I'm getting one, and you can see the fees associated here with that. These are some arbitrary numbers right now, but you'll see the real numbers. Those are relative to the value of PALS token to PALS. So it's not arbitrary. It's just I haven't locked in on mainnet yet. I know the number, but I didn't deploy it yet. So the number of PALS token to Pixel PALS here on testnet is not the same number you're going to see on mainnet. Okay. Gotcha. And you can swap for a random one, right? So the benefit is it's cheaper. You see that? So it's cheaper to get a random one, but it's really the oldest value PAL that was added to the vault, if that makes sense, right? So it's kind of like first one in, first one out kind of situation. So this is just how you can do that. Maybe I can make it like purely random. But for now, this is kind of the way that it is, and so on. So you get to do swapping. You can take out loans on PALs as well. So for example, some of these, this one's active, this one's already repaid, this one's also active. I can only do a max of 3 at a time as configured in the admin settings. And so that's what that is. I'm not in the admin account right now. Otherwise you would see admin settings that I can go through and all that, but probably better for this walkthrough that I'm not. Either way, I can repay the loan, get my PAL back, and so on. And now that was repaid, and then that PAL should now be back in, my inventory right here, right? So that's the idea. That's what the PAL Vault is. It's all about the staking, the rewards, the swapping of the PALs to tokens, tokens to PALs, because just like I did here, I decided I was going to sell a PAL for PALs token. I buy a PAL for PALs token. This is like your one-stop destination to be able to do that, right? And that's that. And then PALmart is pretty much our marketplace where you can list and buy assets from our ecosystem. It's not limited to PALs. We're going to be supporting OG PALs. I'm actually conflicted on this one a little bit, not gonna lie, but we'll see. so far on testnet, it supports all the collections. So the trade packs, the trade cards, the OG piles, and pixel piles. Won't cover why I'm conflicted. It's a decision I've been sitting on a little bit. I think as the more time I have to reflect on it and kind of think about it, the better and more sound the final decision I make is going to be. But you get it. Either way, it's the inventory. You can see some things are actually in OTC deals that are in progress. So I can't list them. Some things are listed, and I can go in and I can just edit them. Conveniently, you can see everything that's in that pile before you decide you want to list it, and so on. So, I'm saying, hey, yeah, this guy I want to list, and maybe I'll say like a system for 100 or 1,500, whatever, right? So now that guy, I can edit it, I can delist it, or whatever the case may be. But now this, where is it? Was that the guy I just listed? I might have to refresh, which if that's the case, I'll see why it doesn't do it by itself. It should do it by itself. Yeah, I guess I have to do some state management there. Either way, that should have shown here immediately as listed, and with the edit button, and in here it should have shown when I switch tabs. So there's some state things in the UI. The contracts would have already handled that, so I'll make note of that and handle that. But yeah, that's the marketplace and so on. OTC deals is actually something that I've been working on that I put to the side, right? So sorry, I realized the color was a little off there, so I just decided to switch to light mode. Hopefully I didn't just blind you in the process of doing that.
Watch out.
Right. Sorry about that. But, there's different states and stuff. This is a work in progress, but the idea is peer-to-peer OTC trades where you can combine any assets in our ecosystem with the token. So you can combine trade cards, trade packs, piles, OG piles, and tokens in a bundle and, trade with somebody else as well. So this probably will be launched post-launch, like the initial launch. I might even make you guys wait for the marketplace just so that way, I get a gauge on who's actively participating post-launch of the Piles token in the vault. But that is part of what you can come to expect. This is already on testnet, or contracts have already been live. It's just been a matter of me pulling the trigger and funding the LP, honestly. Any questions before I move on?
No, I'm with it. I love it.
Cool.
I'm about it. I'm ready to stake some pals, dog.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. So we got all this stuff.
I'm in here, dog.
Customizing, I cleaned up the UI a little bit, but I wanted to leave it like less is more, like very minimal, but still I felt like it wasn't that attractive before. So I cleaned up some things. Either way, when you go to edit your piles, again, if it's not staked or if it's staked, that's going to determine whether or not you have to pay to save changes and all that, right? So this guy, I think it was listed actually, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll probably, let's see. I think I have surfaced in here the state of things, but if you don't know, yeah, there you go. So it'll let you know you have to pay because it's unstaked, right? If you want to save your changes and all that, and then of course you'll have to pay. But that's the idea, right? And it's per equip, so per single transaction. So if you decide you want to come back and I really wanted to make that, you better use the bulk changes, save all, because if you try to save one change at a time, you're paying, for each of those changes. Again, this is an arbitrary number. That number percentage-wise relative to the number of tokens to pile is going to differ on mainnet, but on testnet, it was about me testing it. Okay. We'll refresh this page. If you are familiar or not familiar, we have obviously you can see the changes in both 2D and 3D as you make the changes. So, you're going to see what it looks like 2D and 3D. You also have the option to go to the 3D closet And the 3D closet is, you know, an environment where you can run around, and it's just interactive. You know, you can actually come here, and you can, you know, interact with these different things. It's literally a closet, right?
So all the traits for that PAL is inside of that closet.
Exactly, right.
Nice.
So they're in sections there. This is an earlier thing that I did. I probably will edit it a bit, but yeah, that's the idea. So hats is over there, tops over there, eyes, and so on. Every PAL on the wall is a PAL you owned. When you make your changes as well, you know, you can actually see here the shortcuts. You can see all the changes here. So C is like commit. So I have 2 changes to commit. Let's see. I guess I was holding forward while I did that. That's weird. But yeah, now it already updated my PFP
Oh, sweet.
on chain and all that. I can actually click this. What am I doing here? What's going on? Let me refresh that. I think I like tweaked out real quick when I just did that. That's a random little bug I just discovered. But you can change the name here. Look, see? Oh, something I'm doing here. What is going on? All right, there you go. G-Spot. All right, we're going to call this guy G-Spot. And then we're going to change this background color. What's a good color here that you want? You can also create your own color. What color are you going for?
Anything but orange.
Anything but orange? Ooh.
Anything but orange.
Well, we're not going for that color, so let's go.
Go red. Yeah, go red.
Go. You want red?
Yeah. Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Real red. Okay, there you go. So the idea is now I have 2 changes, the name and the background color, right? So you can save those changes as well. And again, it'll update your PFP on chain. So that is already updated, right? As soon as the wall updates, your actual on-chain PFP is updated too.
Nice.
Right. So like that's already there. You can go into, and also if you didn't notice, the scene color in the background is actually your PFP background color too. Fun little random thing here. Oh, I see what's going on. I got like some random selection. All right. So here you can see.
So you can just juggle your NFTs within the closet. You don't have to leave the closet.
Exactly. I'm just going in here. I want to edit that guy now and so on. And let's say you don't see the guy on the walls. You can just press R to shuffle and it's going to shuffle them. Right, until you see the one that you want to edit, and then you go there and edit that guy. Right. Random things, emote wheel, right? Thumbs up, you know, clap, you know, fun little things. You know, dance, right. But that was again a fun thing for me, right? Totally random, fun thing for me. Okay. I created so many fucking things. And I started doing things like iterating things for fun, right? So you can see again, PALS token integrated into there. If you're staked, free for that PAL to edit. If it's not staked, you got to pay PALS token. Those tokens goes to the staking rewards. If you're staked, your PAL yields those rewards, and so on. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
With it.
So a percentage of that goes to again the same flywheel that I referred to before for the buybacks, the burns, and all that. The idea is buy floors on both OG and migrated PALs, level up PALs, and add them to the vault, right? Make them accessible. So remove them from the floor, add them to the vault, and eventually it's creating that flywheel for the buyback. So same thing here. Pretty much this is testnet, so there's a bunch of packs that never came out, obviously. But let's see.
That's the G-Spot pack, dog. What's up?
Remember we did that? I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny. That means I did show you some of this stuff before, because that was using a token, right? But the idea is I can create packs, and I can configure to use any tokens we want. It doesn't have to be PALS token. So this one's using, and I have a contract that is like a registry for pre-approved tokens. So it can be a G's token, it can be like Peanuts, for example, it can be ApeCoin, it can be our token, any token we want to eventually use in our ecosystem. It can be for chance games, for trait packs, whatever. I can add it to the contract and then configure a pack that we create or a chance game we create to use that token instead of our own token, right? But you get the idea. So yeah, you can buy packs. I guess I kind of meant to do that. So we're gonna buy a pack. We're using PALS token instead of ApeCoin now, and I can open a pack and all that, right? So yeah, yeah, right. That's the idea.
Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake the pack.
We're shaking it. We're
Shake the
shaking it right now. This is still using the same on-chain VRF we have been. I believe that we're going to move away from there. So ApeChain's going to have their own VRF system, and that's what we're moving toward, because I think these guys are going to be stopped. They're not supporting it. PIF, they're going to stop supporting it. This should have opened by now, so maybe something on testnet has already changed for them. In which case, we'll have to confirm whether or not that's the case or something else happened here. But it should. I think that's pretty much what happened. So I'll take a look into that and see if maybe we need to make that change sooner than later. But anyway, you get the idea. That will reveal cards. Then you can use the cards and so on, right? But yeah, because this doesn't already show that, my assumption is something happened with that, and so it didn't open. This would instantly show the pack that opened. So something happened there that I'll look into. And if it's the VRF provider, we'll just have to switch, and I'll ping the team over at ApeCoin on their new one and see if maybe that's ready to use. Either way, that's packs, right? Cards you kind of already seen. There's no real changes around the cards except for we're going to have drops. So there's going to be, instead of cards only be available. What's going on here? That's really slow. I'm going to test that. Cards. Yeah. Probably because it's my local and it's taking forever. I don't know. But either way, we're going to have drops. So trade cards going to be able to drop in as individuals instead of packs. The contracts already allow for that. Yeah, something's going on. I think I'm getting rate limited. That's probably what's happening right now, because there's no reason why that should stop when it just loaded. But we've already had the ability to do individual drops. Obviously, I've minted cards directly from the contract to users through chance games, right? So our holders had the opportunity to burn trade cards to participate in a chance game for a chance to win packs, cards, ApeCoin, PALS, you name it, right? All those now are going to be using PALS token, right? So every single one of these are now going to be using PALS token for the fees instead of just 1 ape fee. So before it was a 1 ape fee. Now it's going to be based on, it's going to, again, that number is arbitrary. It's going to be a number that's relative to the value of PALS. Okay. We'll determine what that's going to be, but the idea is that number would be small enough where it covers the VRF fee. We're going to fund the contracts directly with ApeCoin, so that way, we collect these through the fees, but we're paying for the fees through the contract directly, and so on, to cover the VRF fees. So that's the idea behind that. And yeah, I mean, all of that is pretty much going to change to PALS token. All the fees you could think about in our ecosystem, again, editing your PALS, buying trait packs, using the chance games, even creating. So when you go to the studio and you create an overlay, for example, it's now going to cost you PALS token. Again, numbers are arbitrary, but the idea is it used to cost ApeCoin. And so when someone sells an overlay, to someone else, we'll just kind of do something like this. Let's call this bloody blah. I don't know. That's not called bloody. Bloody blah. It's going to cost me to buy it, and to deploy it and add that to the contract. But then now someone else in the studio who might want to buy that, well, me, I don't have to pay for my own one. but someone else would see that as an overlay, in here. I created my own, but it's a community overlay. And when they want to add it, they have to pay to use it, right? They have to pay to unlock it. It's I created it, so it's obviously unlocked for me. But 80% of that, much like the existing way that our ecosystem works for trait overlays and views, 80% of that goes to the creator of those overlays and views. 20% goes to our flywheel. Okay. So we're going to be incentivizing usage of these through different competitions and so on. But the idea is it's just another way to bring in some some Pulse token into our ecosystem that contributes to the staking pool and to the flywheel, right?
That's awesome. Yeah.
So this is what that is. Okay. So, it's a lot here already. I think I made this portal thing for fun, right? One day. So this is just another way where people will be able to discover pals. So they're just going through this endless portal. They end up here. They can, either view the pal page, or they can, go here and go to the 3D closet directly from there, right? So fun little things like that I'll continue to add into our experience over time. But there's a lot to uncover already. Even just on Pixel Piles, the XYZ, there's a lot there already. This is just adding to it, right? I wanted to make piles dynamic. I wanted to give people control over their piles, both from 2D and 3D. I did that. I wanted to make something really cool, like a pack ripping system. I did that. The next thing I want to do is add staking mechanics that will benefit our ecosystem and create opportunities for people who are staking to actually earn some Pulse token. And obviously they can do what they want with that, but also to be able to get things for free, right? So eventually you yield enough Pulse token, you can now buy a trait pack instead of having to buy it with Ape coin, right? And so that's what this ecosystem is going to do. It's going to give back to holders who are staking and supporting, and throughout all these different flywheels, buy things from the floor, do buys back on the token, and so on, in order to drive the value of both up. So I know that was a lot. Hopefully, you can see the vision there. But
absolutely,
this has been ready a testnet, honestly, since I wrote that post. I need to pull the trigger. And I have a lot of things that I need to decide before I make that decision. But I want to make it this month. This month, I'd like to see Pulse token drop, and then I can continue to build and iterate on what I've already showed you and things you haven't seen.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude, I'm excited to see what you roll out. It is a lot to take in, and I think that it's one of those things that it's all usable within the ecosystem. So as long as you're proactive and, engaged in what's going on, you're able to either benefit by gaining these traits or whatever, comes about it, or the token itself, if the, kind of financial incentive is your goal. So it kind of encompasses everybody. So, but man, I really appreciate you coming on. And I think, we're close to time. So I wanted to ask both of y'all one thing. Art, are you still here? Still locked in?
Well, I wanted to say one more thing, if you don't mind.
Go ahead. You're good.
Earlier, I mentioned building other things that would benefit the Pixel Pals community. And I think because of the depletion of people in the ecosystem over time, I really wanted to build products that I can market to a larger audience outside of Web3 ecosystem that will benefit Pixel Pals, right? Holders and our ecosystem. So I started building tools. One is been live already, and I'm working on growing attention and awareness for it through different marketing campaigns. So I started building out the socials. And then the next thing I'm going to be doing is driving traffic through paid media and doing automated, I utilize AI to create ad campaigns all the time anyway for my IRL business. So I'm going to be doing things like that for marketing this product. The first thing I'm doing before I go live with those campaigns is I'm waiting, like it's an approval process for getting enabled for ads. So all the ad revenue coming in, a portion of that is going to go back to funding the LP, right? Doing buybacks on the token and so on. And of course, that then feeds the ecosystem directly through our existing flywheel. So it'll automatically do buybacks on the assets and so on. So this is actually locked. Take a look at it. It's called voxy.studio. It's a voxel editor, fully. Man, the tool set covers any tool set I could have ever wanted from a voxel editor. I've utilized Magical Voxel, Goxel, Blender, a custom integration for Blender to do voxel, and pretty much anything I do in my workflow, I can do it now all through a tool that I built. So it's Voxy. I don't know if you wrote it right, but Voxy.studio. Take a look at that. This is something that, again, you'll see some space that's for ads. Once you want me
to share it up?
Feel free. Once Google approves it, we'll be able to start driving some monetization through traffic. This is a quick little walkthrough and so on that you'll see when you first get there, but you can feel free to skip it. But it's just kind of giving you a walkthrough on what it is there. These spaces there are intended for ads and so on, but it's a fully featured application, right? Anything you could think of is here, and it actually you can export it as MMLs, GLBs, whatever you want to do, and then you can take that MML code and throw it into MML viewer, throw it into the other side, MML project, whatever you want to do. But anything you want to build, you can do here. If you look at the widgets thing there on the top left of that, you can of the middle area. It says widgets.
Help me.
Right in the middle area. So that's the work area, but it's right there. So you can actually, there's other widgets you can, enable for ease of use cross device on mobile devices. So go ahead and you can render it directly from here as well. Can you make this like full screen? I don't know if I can see well or something. All right. Yeah, I think that logo is covering it. That's why. But on the top right, you're going to see these buttons there. So render mode is basically, if you go to the bottom, yeah. So you go to the bottom left, you're going to see like a render thing. That's download, that first one here right there. Click that. So you can actually change the render engine to generate, like, put this as a large thing, like 3,000 by 3,000 size for the image, right? Now this is a simple, that's not a real number, 3,000.
Uh-huh.
And if you put render, that's a simple image, right? But if you do path tracing, it creates a way more robust render, like that of your creation, if you will. So click on path trace. It's right next. It says clean. The engine says clean and path trace, right?
Uh-huh. So
if you do that, do 1024. You see
where
samples. Change it from 256 to like 1024, right? Something, and then you put render. The idea is like now it's gonna go ahead and render it. Are you seeing the render engine? What's going on right now?
I'm clicking render, right?
Isn't that render for you? What's going on? Let me see mine.
Is it rendering on stream?
Oh, okay. I made a change before this call, so I think I probably messed that part up. Ignore that. Go to the top right where it says play. The little play button. So now you can like move around and navigate around there as well. Kind kind of Minecraft controls. You know, you can fly, double jump to fly around and view it. And if you're on mobile, there'll be an AR button on the top right that allows you to then preview this scene or the objects in this scene in like your real environment and so on. So my kids got to play with this. They're creating really cool stuff that they get to like put next to our dogs or next to their favorite toys on the shelf, and they're just having fun with it, right? But the idea is like, I started off building a suite of tools that will replace that covers everything in my workflow when I'm building Pixel Pals traits and so on, and that like the 3D traits. And then I wanted to make it like where it also covers the parts that I rely on in Blender. So like that's the next part. The rendering, I got to see why the rendering engine's not working there, but that should have generated image for you where you can download and so on. So there's something that I'll have to fix there, and I'm glad that we saw it now. But if you look on the left, there's a bunch of tools, like anything you could think of, shapes. You can change the size, like the dimensions. You should go back to material view, because then that allows you to actually add stuff. No, on the top, the viewport. The viewport, you see it says rendered and then material. The toggle on the top right. Yeah. Materials is where you can actually, each layer in your scene can have a different material, if you will, right? So you can have something that's metallic, you can have something that's, you know, so on. Yeah, you're adding a sphere to the scene, right? You can add pyramids in the same way, you know. There's a bunch of different stuff and a whole bunch of really cool tools there. But the idea is like, it's a full suite of tools that you can find in your desktop applications like a Magica Voxel or Goxel and so on, but it's all natively in your browser. So all these things are stored. Like when you save this, you can give it a name and all that, and it's going to be stored in your local storage. You can download the files associated with this, upload it, and keep working on it, whatever the case may be. But these are all stored in local storage. So it's not making use currently of any external database or anything. It's really just in your browser and the local storage in your browser. So yeah, you can download those as GLBs, import that into Blender. So like that bottom left button that you saw, that's where you can actually download the file. So what you just created right now, you can actually download the file from there. Is it frozen? Yeah, you can also copy the MML. So like this thing that you just created, you can import into the MML world in the other side, because it has that's the MML you would use, right? You just put copy MML and so on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, initially I wanted to make it something that was kind of like just something that focuses on solving a problem. And because it's natively in your browser, you don't have to download like this will eliminate probably like 3 different tools people might be using today.
Yeah, 100%.
Desktop, right? And it handles so much, and it's such a powerful engine underneath this surface. So my goal is to monetize it with ads, market it on socials, drive traction and grow this product, Voxy Studio product, and then dedicate a portion of that to doing buybacks on our token that'll drive you know, our flywheels and so on, in addition to all the other things I build. So it's a product that's fully built already, right? Like I'll automate marketing on it and then just focus on continuing to build out Pixel Pals in tandem and, you know, in parallel and so on. So play around it. There's a lot of tools, you know, there's a lot of tools here. But this is live. Like this is one I have one that's a Pixel Studio as well, which we can look at another time. But it's about creating tooling that can market like a broader audience outside of Web3, and then being able to monetize that and dedicate a portion of that to the token. Yeah.
Well, dude, and the thing about that is like I can use that. You know what I mean? Like if it's easy enough for me to use,
my kids
we're good. I'm that bar. You know what I mean?
my daughter's 4, and my son is 8, and they were just using it to create cool shit.
Yeah.
And do it on your phone, and you'll see that you can then view it in like when you go to play mode, where you were just running around that Minecraft scene. It'll be a button on the top where you can click on it, and it'll open it up in AR, and you'll open it up anywhere in your like area, and you can then see it. So you can have it on your desk, and have it on the floor, whatever, and scale it up, and then walk around it as well. You can place it. So yeah, my kids are having fun with this stuff, and it's early. Like there's so much more can do to enhance it, and there's other themes as well. If you go down to the studio sections, you can pick a theme. There's 4 currently. You're on the default theme, but there's other themes like you might find, and whatever you select, it's going to get stored as well. So if you go to like the scene right there, scene settings, the third one from where you are, click that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See the themes.
Oh.
So you pick your poison. That's where you can also change the size as well of the like right now it's 16 by 16 by 16, but you can use that as well up to 256, right? 100's a lot. 100 is a lot, but you could. I mean,
you can get pretty intricate with it.
I mean, 100 times 100 times, it's a lot, right? So, but yeah, you can literally draw in there. Like you can. Now, you know what? Now that you got that, go ahead and go to the shapes tool.
Shapes.
And then click on like pyramid.
Pyramid.
Drag from the top left corner to like the furthest top left all the way to like the closest bottom right, for example, right? You're on paint mode. Click on add mode.
Add.
So paint allows you to paint, right? So add, and that, if you pull towards you now you're going to make a 3D.
Oh, I messed up.
Yeah, you got to pull towards you.
Okay.
You see that? So there's a lot of pre-built things like fractal creations, like purling noise. Exactly. Now you just built the pyramid that you can just drop into the other side through copying the MML code, right? So there's a lot. You can jump up it too. Like you can run and jump with the space. Jump and so on.
Yeah, this is wild.
Yeah, so you get the idea.
Yeah, 100%.
It's eventually I'll be building where, maybe there'll be like a worlds part of this where people can add assets to a world that they build and kind of add social elements to it. For now, it's a tool. It's a tool that can replace standard desktop applications that are really heavy on somebody's computer, but it can handle everything that they're doing at scale directly, like natively in the browser, So
it's impressive.
Appreciate it. Take a look at
this is wild.
It's funny because Haifa, shout out to Haifa, he was making Voxit and he shared it with me, and obviously everybody on the timeline. And I told him, I was like, dude, we gotta connect because like it's so funny. Like not all of it. He's done a lot of AI elements. So it's like, but there's this. I realized yesterday that there was a studio tab. The studio tab is like where you can draw with voxels. And I'm like, hey, I got something you can draw with voxels too. This is way more robust in that matter. It doesn't incorporate any AI or whatever, of course, for generations and stuff. Which, by the way, if you haven't tried it, try it out. I made this dope ass American like pit bull with gold rope chains, some shades. Like, it's done. It got a Knicks jersey, some Timberlands, very New York style model that I generated with Voxit. So I got it. Like, give credit where credit's due. You got art. I don't know if you had Uncle Mac here yet. You got to get Uncle Mac. I don't know if you had Haifa here yet. You got to get Haifa. You got to get King Pickle. These are just like some of the people. There's so many. Like, I think the depth of people who are utilizing AI to just like really create, like permissionlessly create, right? Is growing. The number of people coming into ApeChain and building like that is growing. But these are the people to add next. Like, reach out to them. I know they will definitely jump on, because they're building a lot of cool shit. And I think what this does is it creates an opportunity for exposure, right? And again, you guys, other games, you guys are deep with the community, connected with the community, And I think if they come across these videos and they find something new about an asset they're holding, that it gives them access to something that they didn't know they have, that's a win for founders like me and Art. We're just building solo dolo, like that's a win in and of itself, just that discovery factor. So we appreciate you, G Spot. Thank you for the invite, man. 100%. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. And one question I want to leave y'all off on before we shut it down, and we'll start it off with you bullies, is what piece of advice would you give to somebody that is starting to build on Ape Chain?
If you're coming to Ape Chain with the expectation, Web3 period, with the expectation that you're about to make a bag when you drop a project, turn around and walk away. I mean, that doesn't drive longevity for the community, for you. The mindset is outdated. I think a lot of people 2021, 2022, early 2022 came into the space with little know-how, but a really big like desire to make a bag, and they were able to do that. It's not the time to do that now. Come in here with the mindset that like you want to contribute to Ape Chain, you want to contribute to the community, add value or an experience, or just be a part of the community, and you'll find your place here, right? Also, if you can, which now anyone can, build something first. Don't drop a project right away, an NFT project or whatever, fundraiser or whatever. Like, try to build something now. In the past, people use it as a fundraiser so they can hire people to help them build something, because you need devs, you need artists, and that costs money. Well, you have very affordable AI tools that you can leverage to create a proof of concept, market that as part of the product offerings for your NFT project. And then if you find your people find you, they'll help you support taking that proof of concept to a viable product that they can back, and that they want to back. That's the change in Web3 right now. It's more about who's coming in with something that they're contributing before they put their hand out, and less about supporting somebody's vision blindly, because so many people got wrecked. So you're not going to get people willing to just kind of, buy a mint, or especially a high price mint, without knowing or having a really good like idea about what they're going to get in the long run. So you're muted.
I said, Art, same question to you. What's your one piece of advice you'd give to somebody looking to start building on Ape Chain or other side?
Make it your passion. Like Cryptobulliez said, don't expect anything. When I came here, I intentionally did a free mint, and it wasn't to make money. It was to guide people in the right way. And through that process, I started seeing other builders, right, on Ape Chain building stuff. And I'm like, oh, I got to start building stuff too. And starting to look into like the AI tools and things like that is just brought out a new side of me, right? Like we spoke at the beginning where you said, are you a founder outside of out of Web3? Yes, I am. But like also in Web3, I'm able to now use the drive that I normally have in IRL, and put it into these tools that I'm building using AI. Because before I had this imagination in my head, but you had to reach out to devs. Some of them you could trust, and some of them you can't trust. And it's just a whole whirlwind. It costs money. It was that, but for me now it costs AI credits. I go here. I have this imagination. I vibe code. I think about it. I reach out to people, and I just keep going, right? Like, and that's just like what does it for me in the space. So for founders coming in, like, just have the passion. Like, just, if you don't have the passion for it, if you want to come here to make money, you might as well just go launch a meme coin, right? And just hope for the best, and keep doing that and hope for the best. But if you want to build like a passion project, want to build a tool, want to build something, just have the passion for it, grind on it, and there's no way it's not going to work. Like it might take time, right? It might take time. Like I'm the first person. I'm the first person to say something's going to hit. If you keep building, you keep showing up every day, something is going to hit. Like that's just how it is. A lot of the founders IRL that we look up to today, and we're like, oh yeah, this guy's made it. This guy's made it. He's not going to tell you that he made it on his 17th business. He's not going to tell you he made it on his 20th business. He just kept going. He just fucking kept going. So if you keep going, you'll get there. And I mean, if you have the passion for it, then you have the drive to keep going. It's that simple.
It's really good advice, man. Well, dude, I appreciate both of y'all for coming in. I didn't get a chance to play the video before we swapped from art to bullies. So.
That video was nice as hell.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it during closing, man. I'll take y'all off stage, and dude, I didn't get a chance to shout out other games, Ape Chain, Yuga Labs, Other Side, everybody that supports on Ape Chain, from projects to individuals, and thank you guys for coming up and showcasing what y'all do. Keep me updated if y'all want to come back on when y'all do get some more stuff launched, more stuff, everything launched as it goes, because that's what we want to do, is just be able to keep a updated, clippable, watchable, reference to, a visual of what's going on, because it's hard to kind of be maybe somebody that's not Web3 literate, and really kind of see, hey, hit this button, go here, check this out, and but I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to do that for you, and with you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, guys, y'all take it easy.
Adios.
Run me that hoodie when you get a chance.
Fam, you too ugly for this hoodie, dog.
ネオンのジャングル夜は飛び